This is Lewis up for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Delighted to join the bounty hunter, Michael Hunter. Long time no speak. Was just about a week. But yeah, other than that, how's things, mate? Much different?
Yeah, everything's good, man. Just been training hard, getting ready to kick butt at some point.
Absolutely, for sure. Well, I guess there's a reason that I've joined you today, and the reason we're speaking. But before we all get into that, yeah, how was LA? How was that experience?
With the fight?
Yeah.
Oh man, the fight was awesome. I thought it was a beautiful day out. It was a packed the energy was tight. It was a lot of Mexican fans that was there, a lot of just fans in general, and a lot of like uh, the older guys like Andre Ward, Andre Jarrell, my the guys that I looked up to the Olympic year prior to mine. We're all there. Andre Berto, Andre Ward, and it was a cool turnout, man. I thought it was cool. The concert was dope. It was good.
Absolutely, for sure. I think I saw a photo on Twitter. You with the three Andres, so it was quite a good time to be there, I guess.
Yeah, it was dope.
I guess when you see shows like that and you see how it all came together, and obviously the Saudis have promised more investment into the American side of boxing. Is that exciting for someone like yourself when you see that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely exciting for boxing right now because there's a lot of lack of fights right now, especially in the heavyweight division, just all over. There's guys looking for fights, and we want to fight. So that brings excitement, brings some opportunity to to our side. So that's always a good thing.
Before we get into the heavyweight fights, I did want to ask, just sort of to quickly touch on Israel Madrimov and Terence Crawford. What did you make of that fight?
I thought Terence Crawford won. I thought it was I was off and on. I didn't look at it totally in detail, to just judge every round. But from what I seen, it looked like Terence Crawford was winning. He had obviously had more problems than his than he normally does. He went up in weight, so that's always going to be when you're fighting a bigger guy, somebody bigger and stronger, able to absorb those punches, it's always going to be harder to withstand that. So it's a different force, a different size unit. So, but I thought he did good and he won. Thought he took care of business. I thought the scores was about right that he won,
Okay.
um, barely on about 2 rounds ahead on every scorecard.
For sure, for sure. I guess we'll jump into it. Yeah, I get the main talking point from that whole card was Mike Bakole defeating Jared Anderson, former opponent of yours. I see you posted a photo on your Instagram in the ring with him, saying it's good to you felt like a proud dad there. Um, but yeah, I guess sort of all that aside, before you get into sort of talking about the rematch and that, what did you make of the performance from Bakole?
Starting to make me tear up, man. But no, I thought he did good. Thought he did good. I thought Anderson just did approach the fight wrong as I knew he would, and I not like I said I always say I think he has the capabilities to shine and compete with Martin Bakole, but I just knew that the approach during the fight, the way he would come and enter the ring and approach the fight would mess up everything. Would be the wrong game plan, and when they did the change for the trainers and stuff like that. That's not stuff that you really. That's a telltale sign that that's not a really good thing to do right before a fight, and when it's in that magnitude. So yeah.
Well, I guess you saying before and saying after that, sort of you sort of picked Bakole to win, but was there any way that you were surprised by the way he done it, almost sort of a destruction job in 5 rounds?
No. I think that Anderson would have lasted longer if he would have just approached the fight in a different way. I think that, yeah, I mean, it was obviously impressive. He did what I would kind of expect him to do with that type of fight. He's the much bigger, more experienced guy. Um, these heavyweights, it's not like, we're dealing with a lot of different, punches matter, the power matters. So a lot of the heavyweights they tend to try to feel the punches, and they get hit a little bit just to see how strong the guy is. And a lot of people do that to Martin Bakole, and they see that he could just walk. See, he's like a force, like Joe Joyce, kind of just walks towards you and punches, but his punch selection, he's a lot more smoother than somebody like a Joe Joyce. So I think he's always gonna give anybody pretty much some issues.
Definitely. With that being said, and a lot gets made of Bakole's size, obviously coming into sort of the 280s, 290s range. And that's a lot heavier than when he fought you, actually. I think he weighed about 250, 260 when he fought yourself. And when you've got a guy like Bakole who is heavy, sort of not exactly the best footballer, not just Bakole, but you've got guys like Zhang and Joyce as well that you can put in that description. Do you think maybe someone like yourself, who's a bit of a lighter heavyweight, isn't sort of the most heaviest of guys, that can almost work in your favor, where you're a little bit lighter on your feet and against a guy who isn't exactly the quickest?
Absolutely. That's always been, that's always been the remedy to those big guys that are, decent boxers. You just get somebody that's a little bit smaller, but that's just as good as, and better skilled. They've always tend to give them problems. It happens in the MMA and the UFC and stuff. If you see that, they always get somebody that's just a little bit smaller, but uh, still enough to take on the power, but still more skilled. So I think that I would stop Bakole even easier. I think now he's much bigger. He moves a lot less. He was a lot. He was. I seen a lesser Martin Bakole to me than what he was when I fought him. He was a lot more active, just as strong. Probably his power wasn't as heavy because of the size, but he didn't move as much. So it would have been an easier fight, I think, for me against Martin Bakole at this time. And yeah, but I thought he did good overall. And he just approached it. He has a bit of an ego, so you have to just crack that ego, and then you're good from there.
Do you think it's right to be critical of the matchmaking, especially, I guess, on a top rank side for Jared Lenz for taking this fight? Because he could have had any other options as his big step up, but he chooses someone like Bakole, who, as it is seen, was all wrong for him. So do you think it's right to be critical of that?
I think that I don't know who matched them, but I think it was just a time where that it was they wanted to see what they really got. They've kind of fed him a lot and kind of prepped him. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to get him to be the number one American guy. So they were giving him a lot of leeway when it comes to stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, there's not really much I can say about it, but you know. I'm the number one American heavyweight, and I think that I'll stop Martin Bakole.
I guess, listen, that's the next question. I see you in the ring. Bakole called you out after. He said, Michael Hunter, where are you? Yeah, realistically, that we could get this rematch on next that people have been asking for.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, at some point, I don't. I think that they're going to try to avoid me. Yeah, he said that in the ring, but shortly after, I seen him doing some interviews talking about that. I denied the fight or whatever, that I wasn't ready, but that's not true. And even the fight, our first original fight that we had, it was it was short notice. I didn't, I was going on his hometown, his turf, on their promotion. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't. Why would I deny another fight now when I know I could do that? So uh, especially after him looking good after with Anderson, it would be even much sweeter for me to just stop him.
Yeah, I was going to say that because I think you did. I think you put another post on social media about sort of Bakole saying that you weren't ready for it. Is it sort of irritating to see that he's sort of saying you turned it down because you weren't ready?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all just it's media, and them trying to do whatever they other plans that they have. But obviously, the bounty hunter's in the way, and I'm gonna stay in his way. And whenever they think that they have enough confidence in that fight comes, I'll be more than willing to put an end to it. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I enjoyed his performance. I thought he did well. I thought he still was even though he did well, I still think he was. It would be easier for me to fight him now.
Okay. Well, I spoke to Billy Nelson yesterday, obviously his trainer. He's always vocal about Bakole, and I put the question to him about the Hunter rematch, and he said, "Well, I don't really want that next." So, do you think it sort of backs up the point of you saying that they're going to try and avoid it?
Yeah, yeah, oh, absolutely. There's some little, after that performance, there's probably a couple of little other windows and doors that opportunity that's opened up for him. Um, but as long as I keep winning and he keeps winning, we just got to keep mustering that thing up, and eventually, he's gonna have to come see me. There's somebody's gonna put a bounty on his head, and I'm gonna come to collect.
Definitely. Just finally, before I do let you go, I did want to get your thoughts on Andy Ruiz against Jarrell Miller. Obviously, a draw with that one. Yeah, I think most consensus was that it felt like Miller won. But yeah, what was your sort of thoughts on that fight?
Yeah, I was expecting Andy Ruiz to do a lot better. I thought um, Jarrell Miller, in a couple minutes into the fight, once he made his adjustment and started walking forward, as soon as he did that, I knew I said, that's the fight right there. It's over. He won. That was a checkmate because Andy Ruiz never goes backwards. He didn't, and then he started to learn that Andy doesn't hit as hard as that he thought and expected. So, and he couldn't. Andy Ruiz also couldn't hold the power for much longer. After once the two big guys collided, Jarrell Miller was able to kind of walk him down and throw punches. If he was in a little bit better shape and was a little bit more active, I think he could have had a great opportunity on stopping Andy. I think Andy, I think he faded, and I think that's a bad fight for him at all time. I think that Jarrell Miller has his number.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, as always, Michael, just want to say thank you for taking time to speak to me. It's always good to catch up with you. And yeah, it's always good to get your thoughts on that on the Bakole fight, mate. 'Cause it's definitely one I'd like to see. Top man,
Yeah.
appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Cheers, mate.